What a couple of weeks it's been, huh, Jason?
Yeah, yep.
It
It kind of
it
breezed by.
it breezed by, and I know we didn't record last week. We'll talk about why here in just a second. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see that I'm outside. I'm actually sitting behind my trailer, so the sun doesn't come down on me. But I'm recording in another campground, so there's a pretty big road in front of the campground and behind of it, and semis and stuff drive by. So just get used to the noise if it comes in. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a loud one today.
yeah, yeah. So I'm one day away from moving to southern Utah. It's tomorrow. I'm moving tomorrow. So the day this episode drops, I'll be uh I'll be moving to southern Utah.
Right,
So
right. So this has been, not to get too personal, but it seems like it came fast, right? But then I have to remember that you're already like a year behind schedule,
yeah,
right?
this
You
has
were
been
supposed
two
to be in,
years, two
right,
years in the
right, right.
making.
2 years in the making, and I say a year behind, but at least 9 to 10 months behind
Yeah.
schedule. Um, But then once you committed and things started falling into motion, man, it seemed like it just really came quick to, living in the home, to selling the home, to now it's already tomorrow that you'll be moving out. So how you feeling?
I'm pretty excited actually. Other than it was 117 down there last week. So uh
Okay,
it,
that's gonna
it's
be a huge adjustment.
it's only supposed to be 105 tomorrow when I get there. So that was pretty
Okay.
extreme temperature
Yep.
wise. But so we've been all but 4 days for the last 6 weeks. We've been living in the trailer. At least I have. And I have a funny story about that here in just a bit. But it's been different, but I have enjoyed it. I am less stressed about the house. I'm less stressed about yard work. I'm less stressed about maintenance on the house. Less
Right.
stressed about cleaning 5 bedrooms and 3 baths and a half-acre lot. So I've really enjoyed it. Now it was super hot. That there was a heat wave here for us, and it was over 100 here at this
Hmm.
campground we're at. No shade. There are just no trees. So it was direct sun, and I was a little worried about my single air conditioner in this unit keeping up. But
Right.
the main part of the trailer stayed at 76, 77 degrees. And
Okay.
with only 20% humidity, that's just fine, especially where you've got the fan from the AC blowing on you all the time. And the bedroom in the trailer at the peak of the day would sit around 80 or 81. So the AC couldn't quite get the bedroom, which there's only one vent. It's back in the back, but that should be fine, right?
Right.
So we'll see. I'll know by next week if I'm buying a supplemental AC of some sort to go
Right.
into this unit to help keep up. But I I have I've enjoyed it. I'm excited for it. I talked to the park that we're moving into yesterday. They've already got
Hmm.
us on the waiting list for one of their bigger sites. We've started looking at the rigs that we want to upgrade to, and remind me to tell you that story when we get into this. So, because
Okay.
it might impact some of these choices that we make as we start talking about trailer tech, which is one of the two topics that I wanted to cover today. So here's the plan, Jason.
Hmm.
I want to talk through my iPad usage. That probably wraps up our coverage of the brand new iPad, right? Until we start talking about 18 and the betas and some of that
Right.
kind of stuff. But as far as the hardware goes, it probably wraps up some of that kind of stuff. And then I want to start our discussion on teching out the trailer. Amazon Prime Day is today. Got to talk about that a little bit, and tomorrow.
Hmm.
Um, I've got a list of things I think I want. I've got a list of things I think I need, things I have. Jason has a list of stuff he wants me to start thinking about, and we'll see
Hmm.
how far through it we get and not have a 3 hour show.
Well, I know we are. So well,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to keep it short, and if we have to, we'll split it into to next week too. We'll try not to hold you guys too long this week. So
Yeah. So here's why this is going to be, I think this is a year-long project. Okay.
yeah.
And one of the reasons for that is we know we're going to want to upgrade. Whether we upgrade to live in or we upgrade to camp, we know we want to upgrade. But our new plan, Jason, may mean we end up keeping this existing trailer and buying the new one, because if we're going to live in the campground and just stay there full time, right?
Hmm.
Then I might as well just have the trailer delivered there and not buy a 1-ton pickup truck, which is what would be required in order to pull the bigger truck, right? But there's
Right.
nothing else in my life I need a 1-ton pickup truck for. It's like driving the
Other
Lamborghini to
than
the grocery store, right? It's the
right, right.
same problem. So if we just buy the trailer and park it in the lot, then when we want to go up north for the summer or to visit family or that kind of stuff, I keep the existing truck, the existing trailer, which are both paid for, and we
Hmm.
just travel with those. Because the other thing I thought is I don't think I'll be able to leave in May and go back in August, right? I just don't think that's going to be possible. We're going to have to go back and forth, which means you're hauling the trailer clear down there. It's not close to the rest of the stuff we would be doing. So
Right.
anyway, that's kind of what we're thinking right now. So as we think about these trailer upgrades, it isn't just upgrading this one, but it may be upgrading this one and the new one when it comes.
Okay.
So yeah,
Pretty expensive alternative. Pretty expensive solution to that problem.
I don't. Is it
Well,
really though? If you figure, I'm gonna say, what are 1-ton pickup trucks now? Brand new, $80,000, ninety
yeah,
thousand dollars right now.
95. Yeah, yeah, they're up
So
there. They're
you're
really
gonna
up
save
there.
yourself a $1,200, $1,500 a month truck payment. Again, this trailer and my truck are paid off.
Yes.
There's
Yep.
$0 associated with them. So really, it's just I'd be sacrificing the trade-in value of this trailer.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, I would lean more towards just like you said, leaving it there, having it delivered, leaving it at the site because that's going to be home,
yep,
right? At least for
yep,
the foreseeable future. That'll be home, your home base. And when you want to, switch, let's say in the spring next year or something like that, then just renting a vehicle to tow it, right? Just
yeah.
renting a 1-ton truck or
That's hard though, because you
yeah,
got to find
yeah,
somewhere that's going to have a fifth wheel hitch. So it's not like I can rent any 1-ton that's just got a hitch receiver on the back. It's got to
right,
be prepped for
right.
fifth wheel. Anyway, so we go on. We're 7 minutes in and we haven't even cued the music. So, Greg, cue the music. All right, this is Gadgets for Families, where you get these two tech grandpas just having conversations and sharing their opinions about tech and other things. I'm your host, Greg Cunningham.
And I'm your host, Jay Benjamin. Thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, we love to share our opinions. And like Greg said, we just got online and we're already running late. So again,
Yep,
apologize if this one runs long today, but we love this stuff.
yep. All right, today is a bit of iPad follow-up, followed by trailer tech. Then, as a bonus, if you're on YouTube, it'll be our second video of the week. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, it'll be the post show. We are going to go analog and we are going to talk about our favorite analog games.
Right.
So I'll tell the story in the post show, but there's a reason I brought this up. So that's going to be the plan for today is to iPad, trailer tech, and then some analog games in that post and bonus show. So sound good, Jason?
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, let's just do some quick catch up. Jason's going to tell us about his trip, why we didn't record last week. I have a quick story, and then I want to talk a little bit about Prime Day and something that came up already for me. So, Jason, we took off last week. You were on a trip. How was it?
Right. Yeah, I really needed that. I really needed that. It was much more enjoyable than I expected. I expected for it to be fun. I expected for it to be relaxing. And although the hurricane was ravaging our poor little city down here in Houston while we were um
Little city.
while we were enjoying the nice weather up in Oklahoma, we did get some rain up there too, but nothing like they got here. Um it just didn't bother me that much. I just, there was nothing I can do about anything. The kids were safe. There was just no need to worry about what was going on, right? There's nothing, me being here wasn't going to stop any shingles from flying off of the roof,
Right.
right? It wasn't going to stop the tree from falling over on the shop in the backyard,
Yeah.
so it was relaxing. The point of the trip, I talked to you offline about that, but I don't mind sharing a bit of personal info. You know, my oldest son was kind of struggling mentally up there. Again, his choice to move to Oklahoma City and not come back to Houston, despite me and his mom begging him and the grandkids and everyone to come back to Houston or at least Texas in general, but they refuse. They want to stay. We support that decision, but he was struggling mentally and just having some issues and some hard times up there, and he kind of made the the suggestion that no one ever stops and comes to visit him. It's always about the grandkids when we go, and it's never about him or we come to see the grandkids, their mom and stuff like that. And um, Greg and I talked. We tried to kill two birds with one stone, right? The celebrate our anniversary, take a little break for us. Um, Take a little time away from work, not just rushing to get back to work, and visit my son and spend a day with him. So, yeah, mission accomplished on all of those fronts. We got to spend a day with him. I got to spend a day with him. I just went. My wife stayed at the hotel room. Got to hang out with him for a bit. We got to visit some of those cool little restaurants that we see on TikTok and things, Instagram and stuff like that. Some of those famous spots, and uh, just got to talk, and I just father to son, and just let him know that hey, you don't have to do all of this stuff alone, right? I know we're 7 hours away, 6 hours away, but you know it's nothing for me to rent a vehicle, jump in a vehicle, and just be here a few hours later for an emergency or stuff like that, or even if it's just to talk, even if it's just to hang out. And I made a commitment to start doing that more. Um, and yeah, yeah. The next day, it wasn't about the grandkids. I actually didn't plan on seeing them at all, but thankfully I did get to see them. We did get to hang out. We got to eat some donuts and stuff, and spend a few hours with them, and then after that it was just the wife and I. We enjoyed our the next day after that, and yeah, we got to break and really just relax. Got to eat at some cool restaurants. I think I sent you a picture of a restaurant, a diner we stopped at. It was called Happy Days Diner. It was in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, and it was Happy Days themed. So you walk in and they had the big stand of Elvis and all of the model cars and all of that. And I sent Greg a picture, and I'm like, when you walk in and your diner looks like this, the food is going to be good. And it did disappoint at all. It was really good. So we got to enjoy stuff like that. It was really a blast. And um, came back to Houston to no power for the next week and
Yeah.
some minor damage at home, but yeah, it was really good, man. I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for your part of the trip. You contributed, and again, like I said, I know it wasn't about the money. It was about, hey, what are you doing? Stop
Yeah.
and take care of these things that are important. And yeah, thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate it. Wendy says thank you too, and we love you guys. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I mean, we like to keep this show pretty light. Sometimes we get into deep philosophical things, but,
Yeah,
and, if my kids are listening, I've always made the joke that the grandkids are way better than the kids.
yep,
It's just a joke, right? I mean,
yep,
it's a whole other movie when you have grandkids. So I do love my kids. If you're listening, that was always just a joke, and I apologize if it was not taken as a joke. But
yeah,
sometimes you just got to take care of yourself and your family, and other stuff just needs to be set to the side. So yeah, I mean that's why we didn't record last week. Um,
yeah,
it was fine. Um, Jason took the day off, so I decided to take the day off, and I hauled my e-bike up on a mountain and did some riding and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, for anybody that our kids, our grandkids, our family, we're here for you.
yeah.
Um, we're here for you. Okay, so I got to tell you a funny story from last week, because you're talking about you and your wife celebrating your anniversary and all that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
um, so like I said, for about the last 6 weeks, I've been living in the trailer most of the time. Now, Karen and the grandkids have been with us most of that as well. But for the 10 days we've been here at this campground, most of those, the grandkids stayed at my in-laws' house because we're in the town where my in-laws live.
Mm-hmm.
And while my daughter was here, she stayed with them and Karen stayed out here. But all last week, Karen was back at my in-laws with the grandkids. And Thursday, we went to the temple and then went out to
Mm-hmm.
eat. And then I had to drop my wife off at her parents' house after our date.
Was it kind of like riding the bike? Do you remember those old feelings? Like, hey, this was easy, you know?
Yeah, and they've lived in the same house for I don't know how many years, so it's the same house I dropped her off at when we were actually dating in high school, right? And so
Right,
it was
right,
just this. I told her afterwards. I said, that was weird, dropping my
right.
wife off after our date, and then a couple other times she was out here with the kids or without the kids, and then she had to go home, and I'm like, okay, there's something that's just not right about
Yeah.
this situation, right?
Right, man. So I could imagine that would be a strange feeling after so many years or whatever. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
weird.
Yep.
So what did she think? Was she weirded out by it too? Was she like, I just don't feel right leaving you here? And
Yeah,
and
she said it was weird, but she said this is not what we planned for our life. She said never in a million years would I have thought that the situation we're in right now, kind of overall, right, would be the situation
yeah,
that we're tackling. So we're excited, but it is definitely not how we planned out the empty nester phase of our life.
yeah, yeah. I know. I think the point was to be together more, not less, and definitely not dropping her back off at mom and dad's house. So
Now it should get better once we get down there starting tomorrow because my daughter will have the kids when she's not working, right? And that's
right.
just not been the case when they live with you. So
So
yeah, we're gonna have to rework on some of our stuff. Like, what is our routine when it's just the two of us, right? So
yeah,
we'll see how
yeah.
that goes.
So did she knock out all of her training and stuff like that? It's all of that ready to
She's
go,
still
or
no, she's still
okay,
in training. They switched her assignment a few weeks ago. They actually offered her a full-time position. She had part-time
right,
before, and
right,
they
right.
offered her full-time in another place. But she's basically training in every part of the pharmacy and the hospital down there. So
Okay,
she's been doing the stuff that she will be. I think her actual schedule, her 7 on 7 off, is like starts at the very end of July, first part of August. So
okay,
yeah,
okay. Not too
yep,
far off.
nope. So yeah, lots of change coming there. So all right, let's talk about some tech. So Amazon Prime Day, right,
Mm-hmm.
is today. So
Yep.
and tomorrow. If you're listening to this post launch day, it's too late. Um, but so I had a whole bunch of stuff that I had in my cart,
Mm-hmm.
clothes and some other stuff, and a few things tech related. So I was in there this morning seeing how much the deals were, and the deals are really good actually. Gotten a
Okay.
lot of deals, like um, some pretty big stuff. And one of the things I had in there is I know that when I get down to southern Utah, they've got indoor pools because it's so hot, and I want to be able to swim. So swimming and biking are going to be my thing. And so I've told you I've been looking at MP3 players, but you have to be able to
Yes.
transfer DRM free music, which Apple Music is not. So I didn't want to go down that route, but I wanted to keep my Apple Watch on my wrist and so it can track my workouts. But a company called H2O Audio has got a little clip for an Apple Watch that you clip it on the back of your headphones, and
Mm-hmm.
it's got the Bluetooth. So Bluetooth doesn't work in water, right? It's good about 4 inches, is all
Right.
it's good for. So this little clip, you clip your Apple Watch into it, you connect to it via Bluetooth, but they're right next to each other on the clip. Their
Right.
transmitter
So
and
it
the
shouldn't get
watch.
any
Yep.
interference.
And then the headphones just wrap around and they plug into your ears. I got the in ear, not the bone conduction. So um, I've heard they sound better. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I'm going to swim. So then my next debate was, do I just put my watch back there and track my workouts just in general? Well, I get on Amazon today and I saw that they gave me $30 off of that clip. So it's $99 regular. I got it for $69. So
Nice.
that was really cool. And but then I thought, okay, let me look and see, because I was looking at a refurbed Apple Watch SE, $200 on Apple's website, which would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then I looked on Prime Day. They've got a bunch of the Series 9 Apple Watches on sale for $120 off.
Oh, I think that's the
So,
right solution.
well, it gets better. So my wife's been having issues. So she's got my Series 7 edition Apple Watch,
Okay.
and she's been having some battery issues with it. Like, sometimes it'll drain like the whole thing in a couple hours, something gets hung up or whatever the case may be. But on a
Mm-hmm.
regular basis, she's having to charge it at night and in the morning when she showers and stuff like that. So I said, hey,
Okay.
do me a favor. Just go into settings, battery, and tell me what your battery health says. And before she even taps on the battery health portion of the battery settings, it says service recommended.
Okay. So there is a
So
problem.
she taps on it, and we go in, and it's 78% battery capacity. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, hey, Series 9 Apple Watch on sale, $120 off. She's like, yes, I want it. So
Okay.
she looked at the midnight and the starlight, and she ended up going with silver this time instead of black, which she's always had, mostly because it was hand-me-downs from me. But she ended up going with the silver. So I've got a silver Apple Watch Series 9, 45 millimeter, right?
Okay.
Works for everything that she needs. $120 off coming for her.
Okay.
And I'll just take that Series 7. I don't care if the battery is at 78%. I don't need it to run at some amazing capacity. Literally, the only thing I'm going to do with it, right, is put a whole bunch of music on it and
Mm-hmm.
clip it on the back and swim for an hour or so. And then,
Yeah, as long as it can get you through maybe about 2 hours or so. Yeah, it should
yeah,
work
and
perfectly.
it should be able to do that, no problem. And worst case scenario, I go in and get it serviced, right? I get the battery swapped out on it or something like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So at least until the fall, when they announce the new Ultras and stuff, and I figure out what I'm doing Apple Watch wise, this is the perfect solution. My wife needs one that gets better battery life. She's going to get all those new features of the Series 9, right? The
Mm-hmm.
crash detection, the SOS stuff, all of those kinds of things, all of that new stuff that comes along. Because again, it's a Series 7. So we're almost we're going to get the Series 10 this year. So that's how
Right.
far back it is. So there are some really good deals. That was the one I found, and I thought, okay, that's my solution. That's it. That's the one. That's the best
Right.
solution.
So that is pretty cool. You scored two really good deals. So
Yeah.
and $60 off of the earphones that you were already considering going with.
Yeah.
I mean that just made the decision a whole lot easier.
Yep.
So you shared those. I liked them. They were the best solution for you, right? Without having
Yeah.
to add in another device or yeah.
Or
I'm curious to
pull
see how this
DRM off of
works.
Apple Music, right? And jump through all those hoops to strip the DRM, and which you don't want to
Right,
do anyway.
right,
So I'll just load my
right.
music, and I'll have all the controls of my Apple Watch, and I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. Good deal. Good deal. I think that worked out perfectly. We'll see.
Yeah.
Keep us updated, though. The only downside I see is if you get the headphones and all that, and they just work terribly, or they're uncomfortable. Or you fiddling with them the whole time you're trying to swim and get your workout in.
I've
You
had them
know.
before. So I've had
Okay.
H2O Audio's waterproof headphones, and I used to have a armband pouch for my phone,
Hmm.
and then you plug the earphones into the armband, and then the headphones, there's another jack on the inside that plugs into the
Okay.
phone. You can't buy those things anymore. I
Okay.
looked, trust me, because I was just going to strap my phone to my arm. So I've had
Right.
this
Right.
company stuff before. It was great. It was when I was in Texas, because I would swim at the HOA pool on a regular
Okay.
basis with them. So I think they'll be fine. Worst case scenario, I could send it back and get the bone conduction version, so they just sit on my cheekbones. But I think I'd rather have the in ear and get the audio and all that kind of stuff, the better audio and stuff. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Keep us up to date. So I had a bit of current stuff.
Cool.
If you guys have been keeping up, iOS Beta 3 and iPadOS Beta 3 and macOS, the betas are out, and also the public betas are out. So that kind of minimal changes in these releases of these betas, because they're just trying to align that with the release of the public beta. So there were a few minor changes, nothing really big. If you've been using the betas, the developer betas, not much difference from the update that came out yesterday, other than again aligning it with the public betas, which were also released yesterday. So, and that leads us into our tiny tip this week: stay off of the betas if you're running on your main or only device. So, public betas are cool. They're usually a lot more stable. I say a lot more stable. That's relative because they are betas. There's still going to be stuff that goes wrong. They may pull something from the beta in the next update that's going to ruin a lot of other stuff. It always ruins battery life, even on the public betas. You're not going to get your full battery life. You're not going to get your full performance. These are betas. However, if you're looking to install it, you just can't wait till September to get your hands on these. You have a available device. Again, this is not your work device. This is not a device given to you by your company or something like that. Um, you're only talking to friends, families, using it for recreation, things like that, and you want to run the risk, then I would suggest the public beta, not the developer betas. But just as just a rule of thumb, stay off of any betas on your main devices, or if these devices are mission critical, right? You don't want to lose any data. You don't want to lose any access to any any of your work or school or any application that you find a necessity in your life. You could lose access to that device or run the risk of it acting wonky or crashing on you or something like that. So public betas are out as of yesterday. My recommendation and Greg's recommendation: stay away from them.
Okay, but I got to ask you a question, and this is going to lead into the iPad section. So
Okay.
I am loving my iPad.
Right.
I remember exactly why I love this. And it's not just, it's the whole thing. It's the whole ecosystem associated with it
Yeah.
that I am loving, right? I'll talk about my accessories, but I'm using the keyboard pretty extensively. But I'll take it out of the keyboard and put it in the case I'll talk about later. And I'll sit there for hours writing and drawing with the Apple Pencil.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been doing all of my brainstorming about my client work. I've been doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Hold on a second. I got a bug crawling on my keyboard. Had to get him off.
The risk of recording outside.
There are these little itty bitty bugs that I'm afraid will actually crawl down in the keys, right?
Right.
So, but anyway, I mean, I'll just spend hours there doing it. And SmartScript, which improves your handwriting, is on the devices in the betas. So here's my question to you is, should I put the public beta on this iPad?
Okay. So now I'm going to go into grandpa mode. I have to give this disclaimer, right? Do as I say, not as I do. So between me and you, Greg, no one's listening after I just went on that rant about not installing it. It works, and it works fine. It works really great. Of course, if any problems come up in the future that you run into, you'll be able to deal with it as an ex-IT professional. You'll be able to deal with it. So just because I'm telling Greg that everything is fine now, we just have to give that heads up that, hey, it may not be the case between now and September when it's released. But Greg, your MacBook is still, your main computing device. You have your phone, you have your watch and all of that. I'm going to say go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out, because from what I see and what I've tested on here, it works just fine. Since the developer beta that I installed, there's been improvements, right? And even that one was pretty stable.
Okay.
There was some app icons that looked weird. When you did the customizations with the color hues, some of the apps didn't receive their update yet. All of that's been corrected. There was some issues with some of my HomeKit devices falling off of the network. I read in the release notes that was fixed. I hadn't experimented with it yet. I'm having some issues after the storm anyway, after the power being off for a week.
Power and internet and tech life is just not stable, and it won't be for a couple weeks probably.
Right. Through hurricane season, when we're running off of generator power, we have to leave a lot of things off of the generator, and yeah. But yeah, all of that's all of that's, there are no major issues that I've run into with my daily use, other than, like I said, the app icons not being there, but the apps work, function properly, right?
Okay.
Um, yeah, I would say give
All
it a
right.
shot, play around with it.
iPad for sure. Then I'll do that after we get down there tomorrow. When are you going to
Yeah,
put it on your phone so you can get the watch? I'm not as concerned about the phone beta. I really want the
right.
watch beta.
I do, and that's a trade off. I really want the Watch OS beta, but I just can't risk it with my phone. So no beta on my phone. I'm just gonna wait for the general release
Or at least the
later this
Golden
year.
Master.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe the couple of weeks before, when they have that last release candidate, or the last couple, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll do those, and I'll jump on that watch beta then.
Maybe I'll
But
stick the. Well, I have to put it on my phone. I'm thinking.
yeah,
So I'm actually using my old iPhone 12 as
okay,
um as the as my webcam, right? That's what I'm recording on right now. So my
right,
thought is maybe I put the beta on that, and that old watch of my wife's, maybe I put the watch beta on those and see how it goes. So I pair the old watch to this old phone, not to the new phone, right? And
right.
yeah, so maybe I'll work on that. That might be a good
Well,
fiddling
that's
around
gonna
with thing.
split your workout data and stuff, right? Because when you
No,
start using that one for like your swims and all that, but then all of your
I'm not
bike
going to use it.
rides,
I'm not going to use it for that. I'll still
okay,
track workouts on this. The only thing that other watch is going to be used for is
just the
music.
music and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. All right.
okay,
We're 30 minutes in. We haven't even hit the two topics. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about my iPad. I already said I love it, right? Love it, love
yeah,
it, love it, love it, love it. It's not just the iPad, it's the whole ecosystem associated with the iPad that is just
hmm,
phenomenal, right? I mean, I have been using Freeform extensively on this. I like to write out, like I was doing some brainstorming and diagramming and stuff like that. But
right,
then part of my brainstorming process is then I just like to write. And I'm just writing regular writing in Freeform. So that's why I want SmartScript, right? So it'll clean that up and make it a little more legible and look nicer and all that kind of stuff. But
hmm,
I love doing this. So I can't more strongly recommend the Apple Pencil Pro. That squeeze gesture is just amazing to be able to squeeze, get my eraser, erase what I just goofed up on, squeeze it again, and go back to writing instead of having to try the double tap and all those other
right,
kinds of things. So that thing is just phenomenal. So I am using the pencil a ton. Okay, just a ton. I
okay.
bought two keyboards. I bought the Apple Magic Keyboard because in the store I used it and I just went, oh, so nice. And then I
Right.
watched a couple of really good comparison videos where they were comparing the ESR, the Apple, and the Logitech. So the ESR had some things that were good, but it had a smaller trackpad and it was heavier than the Apple one.
Hmm.
So I got the ESR keyboard. I sent it back. I didn't
Yeah.
even take it out of the box. I just sent it back. The Apple one is just so good. I know the ESR was the cheapest one of the bunch of the three, but it was smaller trackpad, heavier. It had its own battery, which is a charging thing. I mean, that's a plus and a minus, right? It's not going to drain the
Right.
iPad as fast, but the battery on this iPad is ridiculously good. I don't think I've gotten it below 35%
Yeah.
yet since I had it. The extra case that went along with the ESR one, that's good and bad because I could just pull it out and set it on a camp table or something and not have to worry about plopping it into another case, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I just decided the Apple keyboard is just so good. It
Right.
is just so good.
It was going to be the number one choice anyway, right? The build
Yeah.
quality alone was going to be far better with probably the Logitech coming in a close second. But my gripes with that, it still has that extra keyboard. I mean, that extra case around it that
Yeah.
I just wasn't
And
feeling
it's a
that.
kickstand, right? It's not this
Yeah.
cantilever thing that floats like so. And what I'm finding is that and Jason Snell said this on Upgrade, he puts the iPad in the keyboard case when he needs the keyboard case. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's in a folio case, which is what I'm doing. And I bought a $5 folio case off
Right.
of Amazon. And I said, this is almost as good as Apple's. And Jason's like, what? I got to
Yeah.
see
All
this.
right, let me see
It is
it.
so good. I mean, I've got it right here, and it is just, let me tell you the brand. It's off of Amazon. It's Kobak, Cobak. It's it feels great. It wipes clean. It's
Yep.
got the nice soft interior over here. It's the translucent black on the back, so it protects everything. This for $5, even if it wears
Right.
out faster than Apple's, right? For me, camping, living in a campground, and doing all the outdoor stuff I do with this,
Yep.
it's the way to go. So I get done with my morning stuff with the keyboard. I pop it off the keyboard. I pop it in that case, and I am off to the races.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, for $5 you can't go wrong with it, and it has pretty good quality. Um, yeah, I didn't see any downside with it. I didn't buy one myself, but yeah,
yeah,
it looks really good. Looks
yep.
really good.
Now the other thing I like, and I'm going to do this here, I'm going to peel it off, is I put the regular screen protector on, right? Because I'm doing way too much outside with this thing. And I did
Hmm.
not buy the matte display, but I bought a matte magnetic screen protector from So this is what it is. All it is. It definitely, that's how easy it was to get off. And now it's back on.
Yeah, easy.
And it definitely reduces the quality of the picture, right? You can see that there's another layer of plastic on the device, right?
Hmm.
But for the most part, it's just not that big of a deal. Now, this is not as anti-glare as I thought it might be. You still get some glare from this thing. But the reason it's so cool is one, it can come on and off. But when I use the pencil, it's got just enough resistance that it doesn't feel like I'm drawing on a sheet of glass.
Right.
So
Right.
for $25, which is what it was, reusable, I think eventually it'll probably wear out because like every time you draw or write on it, you can kind of see the imprint, but then you just wipe it off with a cloth. It's not really an imprint, it's just more of residual whatever. And then you just
Hmm.
wipe it off with a cloth and it's fine. So again, this is the ESR magnetic screen protector. I've started to see more YouTubers doing things on magnetic screen protectors.
Hmm.
I think this is the future, right? Because
Yeah.
it's got a thin black bezel along the top and on the bottom. That's where it magnets on. It goes on super easy, real easy to clean. And again, I've got the regular. Some people would say, well, what if you get something between it and the screen? Well, I've got the regular screen protector behind it, and that's the other bonus is it works with the regular screen protector. So when I wanted to watch Dune 2, I just pull this thing off. It comes with its own little sleeve. You slide it down in this sleeve and you
Hmm.
just leave it there until you need it again. It is so nice. I love it. This one wears out, I'll be buying another one.
So, for anyone who's listening, this was a good alternative if you're on the fence about should you go with that nano textured glass that Apple offers, right? Which is a permanent solution.
Yep.
It's on the glass on your device. This is an inexpensive alternative, and not only is it a good alternative to, a cheaper alternative, but as far as quality goes, you can get a regular screen, maintain the quality of this beautiful tandem OLED screen that they have, and still have the nano textured a screen
Yeah.
protector when you need it,
Yep.
whenever you need it. If you're just going to do some writing, if you're just going to do some artwork or something like that, and you want the nano texture, you're going to be working outside like Greg at on his hammock or something like that. Um, and then you want to go inside and watch Dune 2 in 4K.
Rock
You
on.
can have the best of both worlds. So I
Yep.
think not only is it a cheaper alternative to that nano texture screen that Apple offers, it's more of a convenience.
Yeah.
You can maintain that quality and stuff. So yeah, good pick.
And if you don't want to put a regular screen protector on, this will protect it just fine. Maybe not may not be as durable against drops or something like that. But honestly, if you're going to
Right.
drop the 13-inch iPad Pro, you got a different problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got bigger issues.
yeah.
Right.
So if you didn't want to put a regular screen protector on, you could. But I love this thing. So
Yeah.
all right,
So
then the
your
last,
next pick, this one
yeah,
I'm gonna be on a hunt for today and tomorrow on Prime Day. I'm looking for one. I'm gonna be monitoring a couple of that I have on my list for prices. I hadn't checked yet, but Yeah, this one, you want to tell us about this one?
There you go. So it's up on the screen right now. So for those of you watching the video, I got the green one. It actually matches my new e-bike. So just saying. But
Nice.
they've got different colors. But this is Tom Talk, and this is a nice hard case on
Yep.
the outside. They have them for the different sized iPads. And then when you open it up, so you've got a pouch pocket over here on this side, which I've got my charger going in that right now. I'll explain why in a second. Then you've got all of these different like loops and things that can hold your accessories.
Hmm.
And then you fold that over, and then it's got another set of pocket in the back. Okay. So what this is really designed to do, like I put, like Sunday when we went to church, I actually slid my iPhone down in here. So it slid down
Okay.
in one of these straps. But you could put your AirPods. I've got both Apple Pencils because I have the one for the iPad mini and I have the new one. I don't like putting my AirPods and my charging brick in these little straps because then it kind of bulges when it folds. But what I
Hmm.
found is that if I put them up in the top over here, then when I close it, it still closes flat like it's supposed to.
Okay.
So I
And there's
actually
a
put,
gap, right?
yeah,
On this the front half of the board. There's a gap, right? So you can put like bulkier things in there.
yeah. So I actually
Okay.
slide either the case or the keyboard, depending on which one I'm using at the time. I slide that in the bottom of this, and then I put my AirPods and my charging cable and my iPad mini under this mesh right here, right?
Right.
And then I can put my phone in here. It'll have the pencil, all that kind of stuff, anything else I wanted. And then my actual, you can see the ESR sleeve for that magnetic screen protector is right there.
Yeah.
But then the iPad just slides down in this one. There's a little corner thing to go above it. There you go. And
Okay.
close it up, zip it up. There's the handle. That's how I went to church on Sunday. So I
Yeah.
had, like, when we're sitting in sacrament meeting and we're singing the hymns and stuff like that, I pulled out my mini, right? Because it's just,
Yep.
that's what I would do there. But when I went to the class that we had after that, I pulled out the 12.9 in the case with the pencil, and I had the lesson materials up on my iPad following along, and it was great.
Nice.
I love this thing. So this, again, this is Tom Talk, and they have a whole store on the on Amazon. So but I love this case.
Yeah.
I thought about getting one for Karen, and but I think she's going to want a bag because she's going to be going back and forth between our place and the kids, and I
Right.
actually think she's going to need something where she can also carry, because she's going to be leaving at 10:30 at night. You know how that goes and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. She needs a little more space, a little more, few more pockets and things like that.
yeah. So I'm looking right now. Tom Talk has a couple of different versions. The one that I got, yes, Jason, there is a Prime Day deal for $34 instead of
Nice.
42.
And it was a good price. And you know me,
Yeah,
I'm pretty frugal, as you like to say. It was a good price from the start. So yeah, having that
yeah,
that extra percentage off is pretty good.
yeah. So I'm loving being back in the iPad ecosystem. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I do better work with the pencil in my hand when I need to brainstorm, or like I'm outlining some curriculum I hope to share with folks at some point. And it's just been so good to use Freeform and do that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
um, yeah, if you're on the fence about getting the iPad Pro, and you can justify the price tag, you shouldn't wait any longer. Go.
Yeah. Yeah. These Prime Day deals, this and Black Friday in November are some of
Yeah.
the best times to buy tech. So yeah, if you're waiting, it's not going to be another better price until later this year. So go ahead and jump on it.
I was going to look here because, sometimes they actually discount the devices too. iPad Pro 13-inch. Let's see if Amazon's got. Yeah, 13-inch M4 Ultra Retina XDR display, 512 gigabytes, $100 off on Prime Day.
Okay. Wow. I love to save. That's a really good price, especially if you're in the market for one anyway.
Yeah.
What's the delivery time? Is it Prime? I mean, is it
Thursday
2 days? Okay.
Yeah, Prime 2 day.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you're in big city, Jason might get it same day, but I don't think you want
Yeah.
to buy a second iPad Pro.
No, not to save $100.
All right.
I'm thinking now as we're going through, we hadn't even got to the main show yet, but I mean, we're in the main show, but I'm going through. We should have did like one of those Prime shopping things. You know how they have those live streams and
Yeah,
they talk about the different deals they found. So that would have been a good one, but
I just don't care that much about it. I would spend way too much money. I have a problem. So
right.
yeah. All right, that's iPad stuff. Jason, any questions for me on my iPad usage?
No, it seems like the main thing was around the keyboard, right? The ESR case. You were pretty psyched about it when you ordered it and everything, and I was pretty surprised when you were like, "I'm not even going to take it out of the box." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah,
well he's all in on the Magic Keyboard," which again I would have one. It's just I think it's really overpriced for the tech that they put in it. It's really basically the same one that I had for my M2 iPad. Just not happy about it, but as far as quality goes and um the build quality and the functionality of it, right? Nothing's going to
yeah.
function better on the
Nope.
iPad than the Magic Keyboard. So
No, but
yeah, that's really the best choice.
the difference between us is I'm using it for an hour to 2 hours a day,
Right.
and
And I'm using it that much per week,
yeah,
probably
yeah,
2 hours a week. So yeah.
yep, yep. And just a reminder for those if you're on the fence, if you're going to buy that, if you've bought the iPad Pro and you buy Apple Care with it, just a reminder that if you buy the Apple Magic Keyboard with it, it covers the keyboard. Actually covers the pencil too. So it covers your Apple Care will cover your Apple accessories that go with the with the device if you buy Apple Care Plus. So
Yeah. Really cool. Really cool. I didn't know that.
I know it covers the keyboard because I asked. I'm just checking to make sure
Yeah.
it covers the pencil, but I think it does. So I'll get back to you on that one. Here, just let me do it real fast. So before we dive in, right? Because we're going to transition into, yep, Apple Care Plus extends your iPad, Apple Pencil, and Apple branded iPad keyboard coverage.
Yeah, I think that makes it worth it. That definitely makes it worth it. Even though if you're a regular listener, you hear me rant about Apple Care or Apple Likes. I think in this case, with all three products, it's worth it.
Yeah, Dustin and Kristen both had their headphones, their AirPods go wonky over the last couple of weeks. Kristen washed hers, and they didn't recover. Dustin's have just been going out. He's had his for like 3 or 4 years now. So they both bought, or Grandpa bought, right? New AirPods for him because I said just get the good ones. And the first thing I told them both to do was to add Apple Care Plus.
Yeah.
Just because it's so easy to get to deal with those. So, and Dustin is loving them. He actually got a pair of Beats Studios just to see if they'd be better for the kind of recording and stuff he does. He's like, no, AirPods Pro way better. And he got the second gen. Yeah. And he got the second gen AirPods Pro, right? Which means he got all of the fancy noise cancellation and stuff that he didn't have on the original AirPods Pro. So he was super happy. All right, let's talk about some different kinds of tech here. So what I want to do, I'm going to walk through the things I'm using, the things I think I need, and then Jason's going to give us some education. That's the goal for this next session. So some things I'm already using. So there is a built-in Bluetooth controller in the trailer, and there's an app associated with it that allows me to control certain things on the trailer, like the slides, the water, the water heater, the awnings, and to get things like our tank levels, so your waste tanks and stuff, and freshwater tanks. The cool thing about
let me ask you this before we jump in: how good is that app? Because they're never good. They're never good.
It's pretty decent. So you know how in HomeKit you can do scenes and you press a button and it does everything for the scene? Well, they've got the same thing. So like if I wanted to say I'm boondocking, meaning I'm not hooked up to power or water or anything anywhere, then I can press a button and it'll put out my slides and turn the different things to the boondocking settings. And then if I wanted to say I'm doing this kind of a setup. So you can actually build some scenes and stuff like that. Now, I've not done any of those because our trailer's just not that complicated. But the
Right.
other good thing about that particular app is that extra things like we've got a TPMS for the tires. And so, and they're Bluetooth, they go to a transmitter that's in the front of the trailer, right? So when I'm sitting in the cab of the truck, I can get the signal. Now there's a separate app for it, but they also integrated it into that same app. So I can
Okay.
have all of that stuff there. And I also can see the voltage of the batteries in that. Um, and a few other things. And if I had other compatible accessories, I could do them in there. So I can go in, and it's
Okay.
called Tire Link. I can go in, tap on Tire Link. It'll pull up all 4 of my tires, tell me what the pressure and the temperature is on each of the tire. And I can do that when I'm driving down the road. And it's actually good enough that when you are in motion, that
Mm-hmm.
it recognizes it and it locks out like the slides and the awning. So it doesn't allow you to touch the things that if you were to hit the wrong button when you're going 75 miles an hour down the freeway would really cause issues. So it's reasonable, right?
Okay.
It is. So, and the design's decent. And then it's got a little diagnostic thing that if you're connected to the internet, it'll actually go through and run a diagnostic on several of the key systems and tell you if they're green or not. So pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
So it sounds like, and as much as I try to integrate everything in the HomeKit, with some things in my home, it's just not possible,
Right.
right? Some things it works better in the app. So it sounds like you won't be getting rid of this app. We'll be finding things that's a combination between
Yeah.
that app and HomeKit. Things that integrate better, whichever one integrates best in
Right.
whichever app.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right.
Now, the other app that I use, I bought a new surge protector this year because you're supposed to buy a new one. So just so you know, the joke is that if you buy $1,000 TV, the first thing you do is buy a nice surge protector for it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then people will take and they will plug their $30,000 RVs straight into power at an RV park that's had 4 billion people go through it, right?
Right. Right.
And so we have a surge protector. They're not like buying a surge protector for a TV. You can get them that are $300 and $400. You can actually get them that'll shut off the power if things are bad and some of those kinds of things. But so I bought a mid-tier one this year because you're supposed to replace them every 5 years and ours was 5 years old. So I bought a
Okay.
mid-tier one this year, but it came with an app, which is different. So it's an upgrade over the last one that I had. It came with an app. Now I use the app, but at the same time, I don't like the app
Okay.
because one of the things I don't understand a ton about electricity, right? And like every time the AC kicks on, there's this huge spike in amps, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it goes. And so the way I had the app set up at first, I was getting all these alerts for that millisecond that it spiked saying you went over and I started to panic a little bit. So I have since tuned down the alerts on this thing. I talked to my brother, he's an electrician, and we talked through what I really
Yep.
needed to know about and what I didn't. So basically, I don't have any of the alerts turned on anymore, but it's pretty cool. I can see how many amps we're pulling, what the voltage is, the frequency, and how many watts and all that stuff real time that's going through the surge protector, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I can see is my kilowatt hour usage. So I can, like when we move in tomorrow, I'll reset it. And then every month I can reset that. So
Right.
I can keep
Right.
track of how much electricity I'm using because we will have to pay for power at the thing. So I'm using that app, but it does cause some anxiety.
Right.
I've got an Apple TV hooked up to the TV. The TV's garbage, but I've got the Apple TV hooked up to it. I've only got one of my 4. Remember, I had 3 extenders for my Eros, and I had
Yep.
one, one, one main big Eero. And matter of fact, I think I have another Eero at my in-laws, so I better tell my wife that we got to check for that one. So anyway, I've only need one because again, I'm only
Mm-hmm.
a couple hundred square feet, right?
Right.
And so I've got that. I've got the T-Mobile router going on. I've got a bunch of surge protectors, my Anker Pop Can charger, which charges my phone, right? That little
Mm-hmm.
really small one. I've got to figure out some stuff from cable management, so that's on my need list. And then I had one HomePod Mini. Yesterday I bought a second one, and so now I've got a stereo pair of HomePod Minis. Now, I didn't realize this, but one of the reasons I couldn't find another Space Gray HomePod Mini.
Okay.
Best Buy only had one at one of the stores that I could get to.
Okay. Was
Reason
it in
for
stock when you got there?
Yes, it was, because
Okay,
I was
good.
up there. I had lunch with my sister up there, and so it was close to where we went to lunch. So I popped over and grabbed it. I didn't realize they have replaced Space Gray with Mid.
Okay. I think I recall something of one of those events or something. They were saying this
Yep.
was the new color or something like that. Okay.
So yeah, so I'm glad I grabbed it because I don't care for the midnight. I prefer the Space Gray, and I know that there's rumors about a new HomePod with a screen, with an interactive screen, but that's probably
Hmm.
2025. So anyway, I spent the $100 again. Now I've got a stereo pair, and they go with my TV, and I play a ton of music through them. So
And this
all
was
right,
after you already gave away two of your other home pods.
I had two others, but
Right.
they went with Wyatt and his TV.
Right.
So yeah,
So you missed it and you went ahead and bought another so you can have the stereo pair again.
yeah, yep.
Okay. Makes
All right.
sense.
So those are the tech things. I mean, other than my personal tech stuff, my computers and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of where I'm at in the
Did I lose you?
trailer. I don't know. Did you lose me? Oh, okay.
Make sure.
So, so that other than my personal tech stuff, right? The computers and
Hmm.
iPads and phones and stuff. That's kind of where we're at. Here's where what I think I need: doorbell and
Hmm.
or security. I don't need the doorbell to ding. But it
Right.
might be nice when I'm not there to know that somebody just dropped a package or something like, so that might be okay.
Hmm.
Um, but definitely at least one, if not a couple security cameras. Then power cord management ideas. So here's the problem. I've got those nice anchor surge protectors, right? They've got like two plugs on the top, two plugs on each side, and then the front's got USB-C and USB-A. But they are pretty
Hmm.
bulky, and the cords are super thick. So I've got one of those plugged in the cubby by my bed. I've got another one on the side of my bed that will charge my MacBook, my iPads, all that kind of stuff. Then I've got another one down on the other end of the trailer that has the Eero and the T-Mobile, and that's where we use to charge the kids' iPads. But the problem is, I got to figure out how to better manage cabling because I
Right.
can't put a lot of this stuff right next to an outlet. They're always running, a foot or two from the outlet. So I need some cable management. I need to figure out cable management. Better power tools management. So I told you this. I've got a couple just because I wasn't doing a whole lot with it, and my daughter's got my good Ryobi set.
Hmm.
But an impact driver, a drill, a power screwdriver. I want a wireless or not a wireless, but a cordless blower, leaf blower,
Right.
small one, right? Just to be able to clean off the roof and place around stuff. And so I do need something around that. I want some smart temperature sensors. I want to be able to put them. So when you deal with an RV, you worry about things freezing underneath or in the storage. So I want to be able to put
Hmm.
one in the storage. I want to be able to put one in the underbelly. I want to be able to put one in the fridge, for example, and be able
Right.
to see those. So want some of those. Might need a supplemental AC. We'll know more about that next week. And then I already told you thermostats, smart thermostats, and then the other thing that's on my list is an air purifier. Although I did take it out of my Amazon cart, they did not give a discount on it for Prime Day yet. So all right, so that's a start.
Okay. So most of the things, with the exception of cable management, right? Because I kept running into a problem where I know you're not going to have the ability like me to run cables through the attic, through the ceiling or whatever. But I wasn't sure if you had like paneling that you can pull off and run wires behind, right?
Nope.
So that was always going to be a question that I had for you, especially when we start talking about. I had a lot of mounts. I love my wall mounts and my ceiling mounts for devices and stuff. I had a lot of those on the list, and I just didn't know how you felt about running the power cord along the wall, whether it's in one of those little plastic channels
Yeah.
that are designed to hide cables and wires and stuff like that, or if you were just going to have stuff dangling. So I don't have much power or cord management stuff on there. That's something that we can work through,
Well,
on another episode
and
or.
let me tell you a couple other things, because I already
Mhm.
cheated and looked at your and ordered one of your recommendations. There are very few places that I want to screw things into the
Right,
walls.
right.
So, like for some of our stuff, we've bought some. Matter of fact, I should look some up. But we've bought some plastic shelves that have 3M that go along the back.
Yes.
They're about 8 inches long and about 2 inches wide, and then they have a hole in the bottom where you could run cables up through and do something. So we have several
Hmm.
of those. That's more of what I would be looking for. So because so when I think about cable management, I don't want to have to screw anything in. I'd be looking at more of like rings that have 3M on the back of them, or hooks that have 3M on the back, so I can
Yes.
sticky them and pull them off when I need to.
Yes, and that was the thought. So the mounts that I chose, they do have options where you can use that 3M tape, which the right one, I'm guessing the ones that aren't knockoff, they actually come from 3M. They actually stick really good. And they'll hold just about anything. Well, and that whatever product is for is designed to hold that. It'll definitely hold those up to the wall securely.
Well, we'll talk about that one when you get to it, because that one I'm actually okay with screwing in, and I'll explain why. So,
Okay, okay. So I have most of this on, especially if we have time and we get to the power tool stuff, which we're going to cover later in the show. I think you'll be pretty excited about the ecosystem that I chose, that as I am, because you love technology and stuff too. So I split it up. I said outside of the trailer, inside of the trailer, and then we went to power management and stuff. And I left off for now because I knew we weren't going to have time. But remember, I talked to you about getting you on a NAS system, network attached storage and hard drives and stuff like that. But I
right.
left that off because that's a more of a long term solution. And my thought at the time was for the new trailer, but it sounds like that one's coming sooner rather than later. So, but we'll talk about that. So let's start with the outside of the trailer. Some stuff that I recommended, and again, these are recommendations. This is our kind of just a kind of wish list of things that I would throw into a trailer that I would have. But again, nothing is set in stone, right? You have the ultimate decision, and some of this stuff may not be as practical as it would seem for me. Someone who doesn't camp at all, or been in a trailer or things like that. Um, so I'll just start with it. Outside, I would have some Govee smart lights and bulbs and things like that. Now, they make tons of outdoor power strips, right? Not power strips, light strips, right? These are those LED light strips that are waterproof, weatherproof, and they stand up to heat and stuff like that. And um, I would have them around areas like the awning, the door frame, things like that, and um, they look good. My daughter loves like our outside lights, right? We have Hue landscape lights and stuff, and my main thought was the grandkids would love them because she gets so excited. My daughter gets so excited around holidays and stuff, and choosing these scenes and stuff to celebrate the holidays, right? St. Patrick's Day, which we don't really celebrate, but the house is green for St. Patrick's Day. Um, Christmas time, they have a bunch of different Christmas scenes with the Hue app. So it's red and green, or some kind of shades of just Christmassy like kind of themes to it. Orange and black for Halloween, or red for Halloween, and things like that. So I figured this would be something fun for the grandkids to enjoy. Just getting them excited about holidays, just being able to change those lights and stuff outside, and also just on a regular Wednesday, just having the extra lighting outside is good for security. Not just your floodlight or security light that you have if it's on a motion sensor or something like that, but just having a dim level of just well lit area is it's always good for security.
Yeah. Now these aren't battery powered, right? But
Yeah.
so I'd have to
No,
plug
these
them
aren't.
in. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we'll talk about the power solutions and stuff later. But yeah, these would have to be plugged in. So,
And
uh,
I've got my thermostat for my smoker is Govee. So,
okay. So you already have the app. You already have an account set
yep.
up. A lot of these lights, things that I chose are Govee, which is my second choice because my first choice would be Hue. Um, very expensive, very overpriced in some cases like that. I usually find them on deals and things, but yeah, Govee would be my second choice, and I went with that on some of these.
Now, is there
So
a motion sensor light from Govee that would work?
so they do have like a security kind of spotlight. Um, I don't recall. I would have to check. I don't recall if they have a motion sensor like Hue does. So Hue has motion sensors where you walk up to them. Like I have one in the closet because the switch is so high on the ceiling to pull on and off. We just leave it on, and when you open the closet door, the sensor senses the light from the room and it turns on the closet light. And also too, they have some that go outside too. You walk by it and they turn on the lights, or you can control whatever scene that you want to control. Like if you can have someone walk by it and all of the lights are turned red, if you wanted to set a scene like that or something. I would have to
Now I
do some
just
more research.
now I just went down a rabbit hole because I searched for solar motion sensor smart outdoor light. Now I don't know if I'll get smart or not, but I don't know that I care. But that might be a good thing, right? To have some sort of a motion sensor light that, and if it's solar, then I don't have to worry about it. And I'm happen to live in an area that's got a lot of sun.
Right, right.
So
So we'll get to solar panels later because that is on the list. But so I'm looking now. I see some Govee motion sensors, and I even see one for outdoors, and it looks similar to the Hue outdoor sensor too that I use. Um, so it may be something with that. Yeah, we'll look into that more. But yeah, just imagine, again, like my landscape lighting, I have it like at let's say 45% just normal for landscape lighting, and then when someone walks in a driveway, or usually it's a cat or something like that, they all brighten to 100%. So the whole house just kind of lights up whenever that sensor's tripped or set off. And then 5 minutes or so later, it all just settles back down to 40%. So yeah, this is and then again, perfect on holidays, right? The holiday colors are coming red, white, and blue around 4th of July or something like that. It just looks wonderful. It's fun, and my daughter loves playing with it.
so I have added to my cart, I have added a 4-pack of those lights. Whether I buy them
Okay,
or not, we'll see. I've added a 4-pack of those lights, and I think this outdoor motion sensor, the black one that I just found, there's a white one, but it doesn't look like it's necessarily outdoor.
right, and it just may be the regular indoor sensor.
Yeah, let's see. Now, see, it's talking about indoor, so the outdoor one's a little more expensive. I'm going to add that to my cart too.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then I'll
it's
explore
really
how they
cool.
work together. So,
Yeah, yeah, and again, these floodlights, they're semi permanent, right? They're portable, right? You can just pack them all up and store them in whatever compartment outside of the camper, and when you get to the new campsite, just pull them out and hook everything back up. I don't know how easy or hard that would be, you know what I mean?
well,
But
what I could
they're
do is
not
I could put one underneath the stairs. That way, when you stepped on the stairs, it automatically lit it up or something like that too. So,
right, right,
cool.
right.
Okay.
So yeah, good pick with those. I think it'll be a fun choice. And again, we're still just talking about outside, so a lot of the stuff I don't really have an understanding on how you would pack all of that up and load it up and then take everything back out again. So you would have to figure out. But the smart awning was my next choice. But it sounds like you already have a smart awning that's controlled by the app.
I can definitely control it by the app. Um, the other stuff that I'm looking at, yeah, no, I think that one I probably don't need.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. This one was always on my list from when we started talking about Trailer Tech months ago or last year. the smart awning was always on my list to come in and out, right? It just looks, um, man, it just looks like high quality. I don't know, I hadn't seen it in person or whatever, but just from, what I've seen on the site, it looks like it's really high quality. That one may require a smart relay to get it into HomeKit. Otherwise, it will come with its own app or integrate into the app that you're already using. But yeah, it sounds like you already have a smart on it, and this one won't be necessarily, a necessity for you. So we'll move on to the next one. And again, grandkids in mind, totally with this. This is not something I would see you doing with your MacBook Pro and your Tandem OLED um, iPad Pro. I don't really see you sitting outside watching movies on a projector screen. So totally for the grandkids, but one of those inflatable projector drive-in movie kind of screens for the
Yep.
outside with the 4K projector. Now, these 4K projectors, man, they have dropped in prices. You know what I mean? You and I are older, so we remember the time when DVD players were, $1,000, right? All the way down. We watched those things drop over the years, all the way down to what, $35 for a DVD player. Same with 4K monitors. I remember when monitors, I mean projectors, not monitors. I remember when projectors were, $3,500 for a good one, and
Yeah.
they're still pricey. They're still pricey, but I mean now we're seeing 4K monitors for $200 or something like that. So the price and the price of this technology has just dropped over the years. So now you can get a tiny one it's fairly inexpensive. One that you can cast to, you can AirPlay to your movies and stuff from your devices. But I thought this was something cool, right? You pull out the projector screen, the projector and the inflatable screen, blow it up, line the chairs up for the kids. Any other kids or children in the park, that are around, you can set chairs up for them, and you can play the latest, Disney movie or whatever's out at the time, the latest action movie. And I thought that would be a cool kind of weekend thing for the kids to look forward to on the weekends while you're there. And it gets them out of the trailer, right?
Right.
Trying to pile everyone inside to watch the latest movie. Although the AC is inside, I thought that this was really cool. This would be something that I would carry with me to the campground too. So the next one was Logitech doorbell cam and the Logitech the Circle Cam for HomeKit secure video. We talked about it. I had recommended it before, and you said you needed things to be battery charged, right? You didn't want to drill holes in the trailer, especially the new one. You kind of wanted something to be you wanted to be battery powered. So again, Logitech would be my first choice. My second choice, and actually something that I really heavily considered for my home, um, was those Eufy cams. And while we were browsing through Amazon earlier, I saw one that's on sale. It has a pretty good discount to it. The outdoor cam. Now these are battery powered, so they only run at 2K, right? No 4K cameras with the battery power. But 2K in the daytime still looks really good, right? I don't know how these would perform late at night. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube that does these comparisons, and that's all he does is comparisons of HomeKit and Google Home and things like that, security cameras and stuff. And he'll do like head-to-head challenges where he'll show the video at certain distances and at night and during the day, and he tests the microphone being able to speak using the two-way speaker and microphone systems on these, and he tests the sound levels. Really scientific tests. I'll send you the link to some of these guys. He's really good. But Eufy Cam, they have a doorbell cam that's battery powered as well as an outdoor cam, and they both run at 2K. And Eufy is as almost like Govee, right? We've seen them come from just those cheap import products to becoming a really good company that are known for the products that they make. So it's not just like knockoff of different type of products. They really focus on their products and kind of built a name for themselves. So just like Govee, just like some of these other companies we saw, Eufy is one of those ones that are known for their security cameras and stuff now. They're not just knockoff, or low budget Korean equipment. So
Okay,
this
so
was, oh, go ahead.
oh wow. So
Also, too, they're in HomeKit, so you'll be able to view and manage the videos and stuff in HomeKit, which was one of my requirements, was to
yep.
eliminate the use of all of
So
these apps.
how does this? So there's two different ones. They're on sale for 50% off right now.
Oh, wow. Okay, I saw it was a discount. I didn't see how much it was. Really
So
good.
there's two cameras, the hub or whatever it is, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yep, you reminded me. Another one of my requirements, because we talked before, was to eliminate hubs. Right, we wanted to eliminate the hubs because that's another power source that is going to take up another spot on your power strip. It has to be always on, or you know what I mean, or at least constantly having power. And yeah, I wanted to try to eliminate hubs, but with HomeKit and the battery requirements, that really didn't leave many options. So this is one of the only hubs that you're going to have.
Okay, so there's that option, $159, and then there's the other one, which includes two solar panels. What are the solar panels for?
So solar panels and security cameras, from what I've seen, they don't really work well. Or rather, they work well when the conditions are right. As with any solar panel, right? You need the perfect conditions for. Um, but yeah, I hadn't seen
So
any use cases where
it
that's
would
gonna.
just be another thing to mount. So,
Yeah.
and all it does, so these have 180-day battery life.
Hmm.
They've got motion sensor, and it specifically says it won't pick up a stray cat, so it would do humans. So here's what I'm thinking, Jason. I'm
Hmm.
thinking I buy this one. So again, $159 versus $319 is normal
Right.
for this one. I think I can buy this one. I could put one wherever I need to monitor my bikes and my other equipment and stuff, and I put
Hmm.
the other one over the door. I don't really need the doorbell to ding, right? I
Right.
don't need the doorbell to ding as long as I get alerted that somebody's at the door,
And it should
right?
record. Right. A lot of people don't realize how doorbells work. They think you have to go and press the button for it to start recording you.
Right.
They don't. They start recording, and you'll get the notification in HomeKit that someone's at the door. So you really don't even need to put a security camera over the door. The doorbell cam should handle all of that if it's angled right. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So what is the difference? Okay, let's see. So sorry, we're going through this, guys. This is what this episode was meant to be. So
Right.
they've got another set that's got 3 cameras, which might be useful, but why is that one so much cheaper to start with? Oh, it's only 1080p versus 2K.
Right.
How much
That I did see the 2K, the 1080p one.
how much of a difference do I care about on the video resolution, the 1080 versus 2K?
I don't know. 2K looks really good during the day, right? At night is when it starts to struggle, right? In the shadows and stuff. Whereas I think if you go with 1080p, you'll get less quality during the day and the.
What's funny is this is saying 2K in the description, but then when it's got video resolution, it's saying 1080p. Okay, I got to look at this one. Let me see what this says. Because a third camera would be nice. Oh, it's renewed, which is probably fine. Oh, 1080p while using HomeKit. So is this one 1080p while using HomeKit? Yeah.
Which one is 1080?
Both of them go to 1080p when you use them with HomeKit.
But the video it saves should still be in 2K, right? If you have to retrieve the video from the hub, from the hard drive or whatever you have connected to it, it should be 10K. Also, you don't need the subscription, right? Which was another deal. And I know you don't mind subscriptions as much as I do, but you can record everything locally in the trailer and have it, right? And that video should still be 2K.
So I'm thinking $160 for 2 is probably better than the $219 for 3,
right?
Because it seems like it's the newer model. Okay. Can you add additional cameras on after the fact? I would assume you can.
Yes, I just don't know the max that you can add. Usually they run about 4 or 5 cameras. I know, like my system that I use here, I can add 5 of them without needing a new hub. You
Okay.
can add multiple hubs, but yeah. And I'm going to send you the link where you can watch some comparison videos to this, because mine came down to this one and the Logitech. I'm sorry, the Arlo system that I'm running here at the house. And Arlo is known for security cameras. They're they're one of the leaders, and this one runs pretty close in quality and usability to the Arlo system.
Well, and Eufy's got a floodlight camera. That one's wired though. So, okay. You know what? All right, send it over to me. But I've got
Okay.
the 2 camera and the hub in my cart. Okay.
Also, too, don't count out. I don't want you to count out these wired solutions, right? Because you take a Saturday, you may have to drill a couple of holes, use some caulking to seal those holes and stuff like that. But I mean, you can get a much better system.
I'm not going to
if
do it
you
up front though, where I don't know what
right,
I'm doing with the rig, right? So
right, right,
anything that's battery powered like this, I can take with me. And
right,
I'm assuming I
right.
just mount it using 3M or something like that, right? To stick them on.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All
Okay.
right. So, but yeah, good camera system. So that leads us to the next one, which is the smart lock. And remember, I messaged that day, and I'm like, I don't really know how trailer doors work. Is it like a regular lock? And you said you should be able to use one for a home door on the trailer, right? They should run, I guess, unless it's some kind of weird requirements. And the Yale Assured Lock 2, it can be installed in a regular standard door, right? Which you should be able to use on a trailer. And the coolest thing about this, it's one of the few that uses Apple's HomeKey, right? A lot of them, it'll go in HomeKit. You can control it remotely and things like that. But this one, you'll actually be able to not have a key and tap either your phone or your watch on it to lock and unlock it. So I went with this one because I want this one for my home. I use a Yale Assured now, the older version, which doesn't, it's HomeKit, but it doesn't use HomeKey. So I don't tap my phone or my watch on it. Or I believe too, with iOS 18, you don't even have to pull out your phone and tap, right? You get in proximity of it and it senses it and it unlocks for you, which is the coolest thing ever. So HomeKey, HomeKit, Yale Assured Lock 2.
Yeah, so that one is not going to work. So it's not a standard RV door, or it's not a standard door. It won't. It's going to have some
Okay.
specific requirements, but I'd have to hack that one in. But I did look, and there is one that's compatible with that app that I already have. So,
Really? Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
What is the name of that app? Well, I'll get you to send it to me later so I can look at things that kind of integrate with.
Yep. So this one's got Bluetooth, keypad, and a key. So those are the 3 options that you have on it. So it's not like I could walk up to it and it would automatically be done. But
right. Is that one HomeKit too?
No. Nope.
It doesn't integrate it. So
no,
it's just Bluetooth.
I mean that's what I'm struggling to find when I search for RV lock, smart RV locks. There aren't a whole lot of options, and I was looking on. So the brand that I have right now, that's the keypad, is called RV Lock. That's the name of it. So I wanted to see if they had one that was actually smart, like Bluetooth enabled. So I'll have to do some research on that, because if not, this other one, which is by Lippert, who makes a crazy amount of RV products, including like the frames in RVs and stuff like that. Right. That one would be an option. That one is $240.
Okay.
So
not too bad. Not too bad when we're talking about, smart locks and things like that. So Eufy makes a few, right? If you're already gonna have that camera system installed, and even regardless of whether you use it in HomeKit or in the Eufy app, they do have smart locks and stuff too that will just integrate into with the security cameras and the doorbell lock and things like that too. And actually, I'm seeing one here. This one's not HomeKit compatible, but it's the doorbell cam with the smart lock and all of that included too. So we can explore some of those options and just bypass HomeKit completely when it comes to, keyless entry or the security lock and stuff. Since we're already going that route with the security cameras, you know what I mean? So Yeah, I really thought the Yale would work. There are a couple that are HomeKit that kind of sit over the lock that you already have installed. You know what I mean? There's not any hardware that you have to remove. You don't have to change the lock or the deadbolt or anything like that. And it just kind of, the whole unit just kind of on the inside sits over the lock, and it kind of manually, it's wireless and it's smart, but it still manually locks and unlocks the door. I can't remember the name of that brand. I want to say it's August. Yeah, here it is right here. So the August Home Lock. Let me this is the fourth gen. Let me send this to you. So take a look at that one. And this is, like I said, another solution. It just sits over. Oh, also Yale makes one too. And these are HomeKit compatible. And it just basically just sits over the inside deadbolt. You kind of mount it over that. It has a keypad on the outside, and
Yeah,
it locks and unlocks with the. So that may be a better kind of temporary solution too, because
that
like
won't
you
work
said, you don't want
either.
to make
Take a
any.
look. Take a look at what the link I just sent you. That's the
Okay.
style of lock that's on an RV. So there's nothing on the outside. I mean, it's either a pull handle or so all of the deadbolt, all of the stuff is actually built into the lock itself.
Wow. Okay. And there are no smart solutions for this. I mean, I see it has a keypad already, but I'm guessing that's a mechanical keypad, right? It
They
feels
are.
like a
So
lock.
here's
Yeah.
yep. Here's the I just sent you that Lippert one that I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. All of these pop ups. Okay. So this is similar to the one that you have now, or
That
this
is
is
the
the one
brand
that
that
you're
I
thinking.
have right now. Yeah, I have
Okay.
one of those models. And it's fine for now. This is not something I'm going to put on
Right.
this trailer. I would put it on the new one.
Right.
And the new one may have to be a little bit different style anyway, because you get different things. And I also want to put it on the storage doors on the new one, so I don't have to have a key to get into my storage units. So yeah, there's quite a few on that one that I want to go at. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a different world. Jason, you're going to need to make a trip to Utah so you can walk around my RV and understand RVs a little better.
Right. Right. I do need to. I'm really going into this just kind of blind, not knowing what would really work, especially like I said with the wiring inside. I know you don't want to drill holes, and I just don't know how you feel about running Ethernet cables and stuff. Maybe there's
Yeah.
some cracks and stuff you can tuck things into, but
But here's the thing, right? I mean, we're talking about this stuff for trailers, but these are solutions that work for homes for the most part too. There's very
right.
little in here that's going to be trailer specific. So if you're listening, don't tune out just because you think it's RV stuff only. It's not. I mean, we're talking about using Internet of Things tech just in a
Yeah.
different type of home.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of the stuff I use at my home, albeit some different companies, different manufacturers, but yeah, a lot of the stuff I use daily in my home. So, um, Greg, I know we're running long, so let's do this. Let's save the indoor stuff because there's still some more stuff that I could add, and there's some things that I'm going to change too with knowing what I know now. Um, let's talk about actually too. Let's save the power options, right? Because we were going to go into a power station being charged by solar panels and emergency management and stuff like that. Let's switch to some other outdoor stuff, but power related, right? And then we'll finish up with this, and we'll save the indoor stuff for last. So I wanted to talk about a system that I use here, and this has came through for me for when I have home projects, right? I'm um, a DIY kind of home do it yourselfer kind of guy, right? Emergency management, our disaster recovery stuff. When I'm talking my generator, power from when we don't have power from the grid, things that save us. Not only that, just a lot of tools, just cool tools that I like to use. Now, these folks are not a sponsor of the show at all, but if
They
anybody's
want to send
listening,
me one. Happy
yeah,
to
if you
test it
want to
out.
send Greg and I some stuff, we would test it out and we would put it on the show and we would probably talk pretty highly of it because I love this stuff so much. And that's my Ryobi 18 volt One Plus system. Right now, this is a Home Depot product, and from what I learned, you said you had some hard stuff. Ryobi, and Rigid. These are all the same company, right? Granted, these are different level of quality of their product. They don't just change the outside casing of it. They're actually built different levels of quality. So some of it is cheaper than others, but Ryobi, Hart, several others, and Rigid, they're all owned by the same manufacturer. But we're talking about Ryobi, the OnePlus system. Now, this is an 18-volt battery system, and if you take a look at the link that I sent, um, oh no, so go to the main page, the main product page. That was the link to the power station, but we'll talk about that another time. And you can just see, go to the 18 plus, the OnePlus 18-volt
18
system, and
volt
you can
One
see,
Plus system. Yeah.
yeah, you can see just from a couple of batteries, these will power tons and tons of devices. I'm talking an inflator for the projector screen for outside, as well as your bike tires and your even your truck tires, stuff like that. So you have an inflator, um, the weed eater, right? I suspect that you may need, right, to manage your strip of yard that you're gonna have. The blower uh, that I use, it's a pretty powerful blower too that I use here. All of our flashlights for, like, again, when the power goes out, even my kids, they know where to go in and grab the batteries in the garage. Now, pitch black because the power's out, but it's not pitch black in the garage because even my garage door opener, which can run on one of these 18-volt battery, has a motion sensor light. So you go in the garage and it's powered already, even with the power out. And they can go in and grab flashlights and things that we need. There are power inverters that sit on top of the batteries that have USB-C, USB-A, 12 volt, things like that you can buy, um, to sit on top of the batteries, to charge phones, to run little fans, things like that. Actual fans. I also have several little fans that run off of these batteries, and we use these for markets and stuff when we're out at events and all of that. But you just plug the battery in, and it has a little fan, and just hundreds of other tools. I think getting you into this ecosystem versus having, a drill from Hart, another tool from, from Black and Decker or another company and stuff like that. If you invest, I would say start off with two batteries, because this will get your weed eater and your blower done, your yard work. You can charge one battery while you use the other. Um, Start with two batteries. Wait for Ryobi Days, which is usually around graduation and Father's Day every year. And they have a cool promotion where you buy two batteries for 99 bucks and get a free tool. And those tools range from drills, saws, blowers. We got a vacuum one year, one of those stand-up stick vacuums. Uh, Inflators are always flashlights, fans, things like that. You get those tools for free. So 99 bucks, you buy the two batteries. It's usually two 4 amp hour batteries, and you get a free tool with it. Awesome promotion that they run every year. I love this brand. Again, they're not a sponsor. They're just like Apple. I just love this brand. So if you go through, are you looking at some of the tools? I'm pretty sure you've already seen three things that you need: a pressure washer, power washer for the RV and the trailer and the bikes and things like that. Your grill and things if you want to clean off. And I know you probably have some of this stuff already, right? But
Yeah, but so yeah. I mean, yeah. This is what's going to cost me the money, because I couldn't help but look at the power station.
yes, which
So,
we're going to put off. But the
are
power
you sure
station.
you want to put it off? Should we just talk about it for a few minutes?
Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. This power station has been on my wish list. Oh, it is so pricey though. It is so pricey. I've even looked for like refurbished, and there's a couple of other sites like Ryobi Deals and Direct Tools that sell factory blemish and refurbished and stuff at like deep discounted prices, and it never comes up. It never comes up. The people that buy these things, they hold on to them and take care of them. But so a power station. They have it in the 40-volt variety, internal battery variety, and the 18-volt variety, which is what I sent to you. And this one you can install up to, what is it? It's for up to eight?
8 batteries.
8 batteries. So 4 on each side.
So is
It'll
it got
charge the
built-in?
batteries.
Is got built-in battery, right?
No, the batteries are the power for it. So you can mix and match.
Ah,
You can hot swap them, right? You can have 4 batteries on one side while you're charging and another charging station, the other 4 batteries, and hot swap those out as you're powering whatever you're powering, a refrigerator, fans. I don't think it'll do an AC because of the, you know what I mean, the power
no.
requirements to kick those on. But I've seen people run refrigerators and deep freezers and things off of that. Any kind of, like I said, little fans and televisions and things like that. And you can hot swap these batteries as they go. You can also pair this with another pretty pricey, having 2 of them. I'm complaining about one being super expensive, but you can actually pair this with another power station, and man, it is just really cool. You can manage the power output and stuff from the Ryobi app. Um, yeah, yeah, just a really awesome piece of tech. It can charge via solar panels too. You see, it has the input for it. So depending on the solar panels that you choose, you'll be able to charge it for that. And this will just stay charged, right? You only pull these batteries out when you need to cut the
Right.
grass. You
Yeah.
the power goes out and you need to you got to know if you guys have storms where you deal without power for long periods of times up there. I know in the wintertime you may get some snow and stuff, but you never know, if you don't have power. Um, and yeah, this will keep you going. This will keep you going.
So I'm sold on the Ryobi stuff because I've had Ryobi. Right now I've
Right,
got Hyper Tough, which is just Walmart cheapo stuff. My daughter's got my good Ryobi stuff. So I'm
right.
sold on that from the tool standpoint. But from a off-grid standpoint, so let me just walk you through. Right now I've got 2, they're basically Yamaha engine generators that I bought at Costco that I
Okay,
can run in parallel. And they'll run my whole trailer, including the AC. So
okay.
Um, so they're gas, but is what it is. So that's what I've got for this particular rig, which is fine for, when you're going boondocking or any of that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
I've got a single solar panel on here, which will actually charge the batteries enough and that'll maintain the batteries pretty much for good, right? If I have good sunny weather. The new rig, one of the big debates is going to be how much solar we put in it. Now, knowing that I'm paying for power wherever I'm going to live in a campground, I may actually pay the money. It's crazy expensive. I mean, you're talking
Yes.
probably adding like a $20,000 upgrade by the time you buy the big batteries, the charge controllers. The
Right.
panels are actually the cheap part. Panels are cheap
Yeah.
compared to everything else. But I may actually have them build up the solar system to run 2 of the 3 ACs that I'll have in the new rig, which basically
Okay.
means I could run all my computers, right? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
You could
that's
live
where I'm
normally without the power
correct.
grid. Yep.
Now, most of these fifth wheels also have a space, and you can have them prep for and or have a factory 5,000-watt generator installed too. I don't think I'm going to do both things.
Hmm.
Although I just watched the rig we're looking at. I just watched somebody say, yeah, we didn't think we would use both, but they decked out the solar system and they had the generator put in because there were times when they did it. Now, if I live in southern Utah, or actually if we were to move to Texas even, right,
Hmm.
solar, just not a problem.
Yeah.
Getting enough sun to charge the batteries, except
Yeah.
for when the hurricanes come. And when the hurricanes come, you just move to where the hurricane is not, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm looking at that. That's a debate I'm going to have to make. And then the other thing I mentioned to you is I really like the thought of these EcoFlows. Now, the difference between the Ryobi power station is it's powered by those portable batteries, which you would use for other things. These
Right.
EcoFlows are the batteries, right? But
Yes.
they
And they're
are,
really big.
yeah, they are actually designed. Some of them are designed to go with an RV. So, and
Yes.
because they're inverter and all that kind of stuff, you can actually keep them in your storage. So I wanted to hear about that. I don't think that's what's on my list right now. I think that was great
Hmm.
conversation. I think I would rather just have 2 or 3 of the batteries, right, and the tools that I
Right.
need and call it good. But um, I think this power conversation is going to get super interesting once I start looking at the new rig. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we can dumb it down a little bit, right? The power station, again, has always been on my wish list, but just not something that I need. However, what I do need and I have is a um, what do they call it? Just like a hub to charge my batteries, and it charges 6 batteries at a time. Right.
Right.
So I have all 6 batteries on. It just stays in the garage. It stays charged. And we just go and grab batteries off of it. It's mounted on the wall. So we can just walk up and just snatch a battery off if we need to power a fan or power my wife's glue gun, whenever they're doing a project with the kids. Or we're going to a market. I grab 2 or 3 of them for the lighting system that I use in the big tent. It's just an LED shop light, and it plugs into the little inverter that sits on top, and I can get maybe an hour and a half of that, and it's a super bright light. I can get an hour and a half per battery, and the sun goes down at 8 o'clock, market's over with at 10 o'clock. I don't really need a full day's worth of battery power just to power a light for several hours. But yes, definitely, dumb it down a little bit. Go with one of those charging hubs like I have that charges like 4 to 6 batteries at a time, and just leave them charged till you need to pop one in the weed eater or pop one in the inflator to air up the tires, or pop one into the lights if you needed the flashlight to go outside to look for bears or something at night. Y'all have Chihuahua sized tarantulas there. Maybe one is knocking over the trash can and you got to go outside with the light, and just have those near and handy, the charging station set up. And yeah, so I would say definitely jump over to the Ryobi system. I know your daughter has some of your best tools, but yeah, just go with some of these. You never know when you're going to need some. And I thought about the charging station too, because let's say you want to go picnic or something, a block or so away from the trailer or to the park or something. Everyone will still be able to charge their devices and things like that, but you'll still be able to pull the same thing off without the power station with,
Right.
just a couple of those batteries and one of those little power inverters or something like that. So yeah, definitely jump into that. A lot of the stuff I know, again, you already have, right? You've been living the RV life now for years. So I know you have already inflators and, the generators and maybe you have a compressor and stuff like that for
Yeah.
tires and all of that. Yeah. So a lot of this stuff is not necessarily a necessity right now, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But as you need to replace things, I would say check with these Ryobi stuff and see if you can replace it with the system that you already have, or going to already have, as far as, buying a couple of batteries and the weed eater. And the summertime too, they have these combos where you get the weed eater and a blower. Just don't go with some of these cheaper ones.
All right. So let's recap what I've got, because I actually just added one more thing into my list. So I've got the Eufy's 2 cameras.
Okay.
Is this Homebase 3.0? Hopefully. Should be, right? In theory.
You're saying the Eufy
On the
camera?
Eufy.
Or?
Yeah, the Eufy.
Oh, no. Let me go and check. No, I thought we were calling the project
No.
Homebase.
No. I need to make sure that it is, because I also added, they've got half price on a third Eufy camera, but it's got a built-in solar panel on it.
Okay. A camera?
Yeah. Here, I'll send you the link to this one. So it says it's compatible, Homebase 3 compatible. That's why I was at. It's just another Eufy. So I was trying to figure out if the other thing, I'll figure that out after the fact. But yeah, there you go. So
that's one of the deals of the days. Oh, and it's 2K too.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. 4 gigahertz. Homebase 3 compatible. I like this one. We need to look at like the quality and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the downside with some of these cameras. Like they look, as you see all of the pictures, they look awesome during the day. They look, you can read the license plates during the day, but at night you can't tell whether it's a Great Dane or or a guy walking across your door. Some of them, and that's the case with even my system that I use, the Arlo system. These ones you see with the celebrities talking about the security cameras and all of that, and they're deterring porch pirates and things. They all work amazing during the day.
Yeah.
It's at night when these things really fall apart.
All right, so I'll check that out, make sure I think that's going to be compatible with the base that I got, because I've got the 2-pack with the base. I've got that camera. I just bought a roll of 3M super strength molding tape because I
Yeah.
don't want to drill holes, right? So I'm going to hope that this will support those things. I've got a Govee outdoor motion sensor. I've got Govee outdoor lights. I got a 4-pack. So that's the stuff I've got in my cart based on what we talked
Okay.
today. And I know we'll get to it later, but I did already order the HomePod Mini mounts because those are ones where the TV is, it's wood, right? So I'm not drilling into the walls. So I can actually use the screws, and I'll mount them underneath. So they'll be pointing down, and you just put 3M adhesive on the bottom, and it's supposed to hold the HomePod Mini in the thing.
Okay. So you're going to go ceiling mount or?
No, they're just be underneath the TV probably. I could do no, because I don't want to run wires up onto the ceiling.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what I wasn't sure about. I wasn't sure. Yeah. And also, you're taller than everyone. I don't want you walking by bumping your head on the...
Yeah.
But I wanted to get it like, in a centralized location so you'll be able to speak. But now you have two of them, right? Yep. I was just thinking about the one HomePod. Now you have two of them to manage.
All right. Well, I think we better wrap that up for today so we can do the bonus episode because the bonus episode is going to be fun. I told you we were going to run 3 hours. I don't think the bonus episode will run an hour, so 15, 20 minutes maybe max. So, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us today. Interact with us. We appreciate you following us. Interact with us. Drop us some comments. Let us know what you think about some of this stuff. If you have any recommendations, if you have anything you want us to cover, happy to do it. Again, always appreciate the iPad questions. Hopefully next week I'll follow up on some of this stuff I've purchased, the watch, if I install the beta, all that kind of stuff, and how some of these other things went. So some of this stuff I would hold off on, but these Prime Day deals are just too good. And since you can return stuff so easy on Prime, right, I've ordered a bunch of stuff that I may or may not end up using, and I'll send back if I have to. So
Right. Yeah, that's a good thing too, the return policy. And that's the same with these cameras too, because I'm not sure if this last one is HomeKit compatible, the one you sent. But really, really cool camera. Really cool camera. Yeah. Another tip too, I should have mentioned this earlier with our tiny tips, but today, tomorrow, during Prime Day, just go to Amazon. In the search bar, it says Prime Day, right? You can hit the drop down where you search the departments, set it to Prime Day, and type in HomeKit. Or Google Home if you use Google Home, and find these smart home devices. It'll show you a list of everything that's compatible with HomeKit or whatever system that you're using, and you can see the best deals that way. I do that every holiday, every Prime Day. I always go select that drop-down menu, select Prime Day, and just type in HomeKit. Right now, there's a 4-pack of smart home switches for like $30. I mean, that is a really good deal. My garage door opener that I use to open and close my garage, it's $40 today. It's regular $60. So, and there's an extra $5 off. So that's $35. Really good deal if you're looking for a smart garage home opener to go into HomeKit. So check that out.
And no, that camera is not HomeKit compatible. So I have taken it out of my. It is now out of my cart.
Okay. Yeah, so, it's a really good looking camera, and HomeKit is not, because you're still not going to be able to get rid of all of the apps, right? You're still going to have some of the apps.
Yeah, but I don't want to mix and match. The extra camera for that particular bundle is, at least it looks like it is on sale for 40% off too. So I've grabbed a third.
Nice
camera. So it's $90 for the extra camera. So.
Okay. I don't think you need that many cameras, but
well, I've got
unless you're gonna put some inside.
I've got a front, I've got a back, and I've got the side, right? So I don't know where I'm not there yet. I don't know where I'm going to be able to store the bikes. If I can chain the bikes to the front, then I could just put it in the front. I'm also concerned about making sure I know where I can record and where I can't. Right? I mean, there's a little bit that I have to figure out from that standpoint too. So. But again, free returns, add it on, save the $70. And then if I send it back, I send it back. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I added that on there. And all right, everybody, we said we were done. We better stop or we'll just keep going on and on and on. So thanks for joining us today. And if you're on the podcast, hang out for the post show. If not, if you're on YouTube, hit that next video that'll come up again. We'll be talking about our favorite analog games. So thanks,
Yeah.
everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks. See you next week.